Betting, gambling, wagers, and stakes. All it takes is one moment to feel great or make you break. There's a variety of venues, tons of events, and opportunities to bet. But when we get absorbed by the money, this moment of joy becomes a threat. So, to avoid the onslaught of money absorbing our personality, I'll be breaking down this addiction so we can keep our reality. Starting now! Hey yo! What's goody, everybody? Today's topic, gambling. We've officially reached the month of March. The college madness has finally arrived. With everybody having a dog in a race, we're restraining ourselves so our pockets will survive. So with betting, especially in sports, becoming a massive epidemic in the US, today's focus is how to break off our greed so we're never in distress. So now that we're live, let's dive! Point number one, why? Gambling has been around since the beginning of time. If you don't agree with their prediction, they'll ask you to put some money on the line. It can be about cards, a game, sports, or even work. It doesn't matter what it is, they're going to show you why they're in first. Gambling is so big because the win can be gained in a variety of ways. But when we become engrossed, it only leads to dismay. First is money. That's the immediate result, because whatever we wager becomes more than what we saw. If we double our money, we can get twice as much, or we feel we can get closer to an object we couldn't touch. We can gain so much with minimal time, work, and effort, but the issue is we fall into this trap thinking it'll last forever. Thinking about the up, we forget about the down. So when we begin to lose, we start to lose our crown, which bleeds into the second reason of competitiveness. Gamblers think they always win, because when they're committed, they think the odds don't apply to them. The house always wins. There's a reason that statement reigns supreme, but time and time again, people go broke trying to combat the theme. Being competitive makes us want to prove why we're number one, but as time progresses forward, we're getting closer to having none. Betting at casinos, sporting events, or betting on games against our friends, what began as enjoyment only turns into anxiety in the end. We're supposed to have fun, not drive a competitive itch, but since we're so concerned about the wager, everything else just gets thrown in the ditch. Which leads into the last reason of pride. It turns into me, myself, and I. When we become addicted, the result no longer matters. It's all about the pride. I need to win, I need the money, and I need to prove that I'm right. Now that they're absorbed by their pride, nothing remains bright. These people will bet their money, watches, cars, valuables, and even their house. Just to put their pride on display, they're willing to risk anything now. This is the sad reality of betting that's affected so many. So next, I'll dive into the impact of this addiction and how it has affected plenty. Point number two, addiction. Gambling has been normalized. We see it everywhere we go. DraftKings, FanDuel, and MGM are just a few of the advertisements on every show. With it being publicized so much right in front of our face, the potential of addiction will only continue to grow from this place. While the money appears great, the setbacks are far worse. So now I'll give you 3 examples of people who wish they could put their decisions in reverse. First is Calvin Ridley, NFL wide receiver. His 3rd year in the NFL, he finished 2nd team All-Pro. With the production he showcased, he was lined up for a $100 million contract that showed. One more year until his big payday, the Falcons paid him $11.1 million, but instead of seeing the bigger picture, he became his own villain. While out on injury, he bet a total of $1,500 on NFL games, including his team. He wagered 0.01% of his salary just to fulfill a scheme. Naturally, he got caught. He was forced to forfeit his $11 million and was suspended the entire next year. So now, 3 years later, he's missed out on over $40 million that will never reappear. Next is Jontay Porter, first ever player banned from the NBA. Even though he was a fringe player, the amount he gained from gambling wasn't nearly as great. Jontay made $2.7 million in his career and $400,000 in 2024. Instead of honing in on his craft, he thought betting would make him even more. He started looking at his props and playing under. So for example, if he was predicted to score 10, he would stop shooting so he would ensure he was under. Over time, he got reported because his prop bets were the highest wagers of the day, and when he got caught, all the numbers he gained were on full display. He made $2.7 million from NBA contracts and he made $76,059 on betting. That's 2.8%. He risked it all for this. Now you could argue he had multiple fake accounts, but based on this percentage, he would need 35 more accounts to equate to this. That's absolute insanity, but that's addiction. And while most would say that's idiotic, he can't say this is fiction. So then lastly is Ippei Mizuhara, Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter. A man once considered a very close friend to the most popular person in the sport, not only apologizes for impersonating him to use his money to bet on other sports. He had access to Ohtani's money and his bank accounts. Instead of being a great friend and interpreter, he allowed his betting addiction to surmount. He stole $16 million from Ohtani. Over time, he made 142 million bets, but lost 183 million, so a net loss of 41. But what also makes this even worse is he never reimbursed Ohtani. He put the earnings in his bank account that he won. Finally caught, he's now sentenced to 5 years in jail. So instead of being a great friend, his betting addiction made him fail. These examples mentioned show how betting can destroy your life. It doesn't matter how much you have, gambling will make your inner being die. So now that we understand the magnitude of this addiction, next we go over the outcome if we avoid or set proper restrictions. Point number 3, certainty. Gambling is a monumental problem when we're unaware of our actions. So now that we've broken this down, let's conquer this attraction. Stability and enjoyment. When it comes to stability, we're truly stable because when we're not gambling, there's no reason to enable. Our finances stay steady growing, and will remain unwavering because without the potential of losing, our money is always favoring. We know exactly what we make, what we want, what we can get, and what we can buy. So instead of hoping for a jackpot, our mindset will thrive. With less anxiety on our funds, we can focus on our goals because by avoiding the onslaught of subtraction, we're in full control. This is our money. It's not in the hands of an outcome. So if our team wins or loses, it won't make us feel numb, which leads to enjoyment. We can happily enjoy because at the end of the day, money isn't our being, it's merely a tool or a toy. We can watch games in peace without hoping for specific players to make specific plays. And we can play games with our friends without constantly asking them for a raise. If you want to go to the casino, we can even enjoy the games. Because instead of betting without a plan, you'll set a hard stop that won't put you to shame. If we win, that's great. But if we lose, that's cool too. Because at the end of the day, these are just games. We just wanted something fun to do. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to check out the channel and subscribe because there's more in store. From one witness to another, you are special. Hook out.